Hey there, welcome to your 1 hour yoga class. All you need is yourself and a yoga mat. So now just finding your way to a comfortable seated position, we'll get ready to practice. Starting with elongating your spine, lifting from the crown of your head, drawing your shoulders back and down, drawing your hands through to the Anjali Mudra at your heart space, beginning with 3 steady breaths. In through your nose, long breath out, deep breath in, long breath out, one more big breath in, and release. Taking the time to witness the gentle rhythm of your natural breath, slowing your breath down, allowing yourself to ground in the space. When you're ready, open your eyes. We'll begin with Nadi Shodhana, alternating nostril breath. So in this close-up, you can see just how to do it. You're taking your index and pointer to the third eye center, placing the left hand on the left nostril, right fingertips on the right nostril. Thumb on the left nostril, index and pointer on the pinky fingers to the right. And you just sort of imagine that you're going up and down a mountain. So see how my fingertip is just drawing up? We're going to breathe out through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril, out through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril and out through the right nostril. So if you're confused, visualize a mountain like you're going up and down that mountain. Breathe in through the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Keep going at your own rhythm, just alternating side to side. So remembering to close one nostril off, breathing up and down that mountainous shape, up and down, side to side. Take your time. Keep going, alternating. This is a very grounding breath. It's known to actually balance both hemispheres of the brain. It activates Ida and Pingala energies, the masculine and feminine, or the right and left side of your brain. Creative side and analytical, logical side. Bringing them into harmony, bringing them into union and balance. Continuing here. A few more rounds. Deep breath in through the right nostril, out through the left. Alternating in your own rhythm. It's also a very grounding place to begin. If you need to ground your energy, it's an excellent practice to have. Alternating nostril breath, Nadi Shodhana. Continuing to alternate right and left, side to side. Witnessing these wonderful effects, steadiness of your mind. Keeping the concentration going up and down, in and out. And release your hand. Breathe comfortably through both nostrils and just notice the effects. Notice this grounded energy in your body, what you can sense, the stillness of your mind. Notice all the different sensations you can feel here. Watch the breath as it effortlessly flows in and out. Perhaps even your lung capacity has improved. Or there's just a groundedness, a balance. Setting the time to create an intention for your practice now. What would you like to call into the space? Maybe it's simply to slow down or to honor this beautiful body that is yours. Setting that intention and opening the eyes. Drawing your hands to the heart. Solidifying this intention, whatever it is you need. And we can begin. Atta Yoga Anushasanam. Yoga is now. So we're starting in goddess pose. So this is a wide sumo squat. Come down, take your left shoulder and extend the left arm as you hook that right shoulder into the midline and sort of press the right knee away with your right hand. So you've got this resistance of the right knee sort of pressing against the hand, and we'll switch. Left hand pressing against left knee as left knee sort of presses in towards the hand. So you've got a bit of a resistance of knee to the hand. Bending the right elbow as you have the left arm hooked in. And hands to the heart. Hold your goddess pose, come really deep. Rising up and out. We're setting up for our wide-legged fold. So hinging straight forward. Toes are slightly turned in, hinging from the hip. You might catch your elbows. You might have a slight micro bend of your knees, swaying gently side to side. Just really starting soft and smooth, steady on yourself. See if you can stay with that rhythm of your breath in and out. Bringing the left hand to the center, sweep your right hand high up above. Nice big side stretch. Exhale, switch. Left hand, center of the mat. Right hand sweeps high up above. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. And switch. Sweep that left hand high, right hand on the mat. Exhale, switch. Left hand on the mat, right hand high to the sky. Nice big spinal twist here. Exhale, release. Stretching, hinging forward. Walking your way down to a seat. Either drop into a seat in Virasana on the knees, or you can do this in a cross-legged shape. Sweep your left hand all the way over to the left side, bending into the left elbow. And we switch it to the other side. Sorry, I think I messed up my arm cues there. You're going to sweep your right hand high, left hand down on the mat, because I'm mirroring you here. Noticing that nice big side bend through the side seam, the fascia on the side of your body. And then just starting with some little shoulder circles, circling the shoulder joints forward, your arms stretched out wide, reversing the other way, circling back, starting to open up that shoulder girdle, staying steady with the breath. Tilting the head over to the right, take your right hand to the left side of the neck, finding this nice opening through that left side of your neckline. Shoulder draws back and down on the left arm. Tilt the head down, deepening the stretch. And we switch. Left hand catches the right side of your head. Tilt the head over to the left. Right shoulder draws back and down. Right arm is just extended, opening up that right side seam of the body, right side of your neck. Tilt your head down, gazing down, deepening the stretch into the back of the neck a little bit more, and release. Shoulders shrug back and down, circling through the neckline. Starting to circle in a clockwise direction to begin. We'll do about 3 rounds in this direction. Taking it really slow. And then beginning to circle anti-clockwise, the other direction, opening up all of that tension you might not even really notice that you carry around the neck, the shoulders, the upper body. Really releasing it, taking your time here. Shrug the shoulders back and down, deep breath in, long breath out, shrug the shoulders forward. And we can set up now for cat-cow pose. So shifting onto all fours, shoulders over the wrist, arch into the upper back like a big cat stretch. Drop your hips, gaze up to the ceiling, opening up the muscles around the spine. Exhale, close it all down. Belly draws to ribs, accentuating the curvature. Breathing in, drop your hips, gazing up. You can work through a few more rounds here at your own rhythm, at your own pace. Really just awakening all of the muscles surrounding the spine. Moving with the rhythm of your own breath. If you feel the need to linger in either or stretches for a while, feel free to do so. And then you might just start to work a little bit more intuitively, stirring into the hips, side to side, shifting back and forth, or even creating some little figure eights, moving up into the shoulders, circling in a figure 8 down to the hips, circling in that 8 in a clockwise shape, and then you might switch it up, circling anti-clockwise, really just awakening all of the joints. After that, pressing up into down dog, and we hover our knees to the mat, shoulders over the wrist. You're in tabletop. Down dog, hover your knees, tabletop, working a bit of core and quads. Hover the knees, tabletop. Exhale, down dog, stretching yourself out. A few more rounds. Hovering those knees, shoulders land directly over the wrist as you hover there. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press back. As you press into down dog, now working through some little heel lifts. So lifting your tippy toes and heels elevate. So you're right up on the tippy toes. As you do, fold your chest back through toward your thighs a little deeper and lower the heels. Let's repeat. Lift to the tippy toes, fold your chest back to your thighs and lower your heels. Breathe in, lift tippy toes. Exhale, fold your torso back and lower. Deepening the stretch, holding the shape in down dog for a while. Just noticing the groundedness. Sweep your right leg high, bend the right knee, find a nice big hip opener. Then thread that foot straight through between your wrists and find a yogi squat. Malasana. Lifting through the crown of your head, opening up through the chest, the ankles, the knees, the hip joints. Take your feet as wide as feels comfortable for you in this shape. Staying steady with the breath, breathing down into the belly, the abdomen. Hook your left hand just inside the left knee. Sweep your right hand high to the sky. Big side stretch there. Hook the right shoulder inside the right knee. Sweep the left hand high, gazing up to the left hand. Side stretch on the second side. Deep breath in. Release. Slowly hooking the hand, left hand to catch your right ankle. Right hand is rotating up above you. So rotate the wrist forward, rotate it back. Rotate the wrist forward and back. You take that top hand to catch that opposite left ankle. Left hand rotates back and forward. So sort of opening up the shoulders there, bringing more mobility into the body. Release. Start to step back into your down dog, sweeping the second leg, left leg, high, finding that hip opener once again. Deep breath in, long breath out. That opposite right heel is still in the mat, grounding you in the shape. Gaze ahead and step yourself back into yogi squat, malasana. Lifting through the chest, using those elbows to deepen the stretch. Noticing the mobility through the whole body here. It's one of the most beneficial poses. Then, practicing these little malasana froggy lifts, they look a bit awkward, but they're a nice hamstring stretch and they help us to get into those hip joints. So you just sort of elevate the hips, thrusting up, and then drop back into your yogi squat seat. Finding that nice big opening through the chest and arms. This time, see if you can wrap that right arm around, catch the left wrist and find a little bind around. So the left hand's hooked around the knee. You'll see it better on this side. Hooking the right arm around as the left hand catches the opposite wrist. So holding your bind, opening up the shoulders and begin to release. We're stepping back to down dog, sweeping our right leg high to the sky, bending that knee, find the hip opener, then tiger curl the right knee in towards the nose, shoulders over the wrist. You've got 3 rounds. Inhale, sweep the right leg back into that hip opener, tiger curl knee to chest, breathe in, sweep it high, exhale, knee to chest. Step the right foot through, Anjaneyasana, grounded lunge. Both hands sweep up high to the sky. Keeping your left hand extended, release the right hand down to the side and just open your torso over to the right. So leaning to the right, really opening up that left side seam of your body. Breathe in, right hand returns to the sky. We frame our front foot and we're dropping into this bound or revolved low lunge. So sweeping the right hand overhead, start to bend the back left knee and see if you can catch the left big toe as you stabilize with the left hand. Leaning out over towards the left as the right knee angles out to the right. Slowly release, step back to downward facing dog, and we return to tiger curls for the second side, 3 rounds. Inhale, left leg sweeps up into a hip opener. Tippy toes are the right, tiger curl, left knee in towards the nose. Exhale, inhale, sweep it up, hip opener. Exhale, tiger curl the knee to the nose. Inhale, sweep the leg high. And then the third round, you begin to step the foot through, finding Anjaneyasana, grounded lunge, second side. Sweep both hands up, inhale. Exhale, release just the left hand down to your left side. And as you do so, opening or leaning the right side over to the left. So you're sort of opening up that right side seam of your body. Deepen your breath. Inhale, left hand returns. Frame your front foot. Just step the left foot a little bit wider first here. So angle it out to the wide left edge of the mat. Then breathe in, windmilling the left hand over, catching the back big toe as you bend the back knee. Parivrita Anjaneyasana, your bound lizard lunge or bound low lunge. Deepen your breath, lean to the right as that left knee angles out to the left. It is a big one, especially if you press the toes closer in towards your hamstring. Slowly come out, taking your time to exit that, just landing in a child's pose, Balasana. Steady your breath. Slow yourself down. There's no rush with this process. You can just take your time with it. Stretching the hands over to the right side as you start to feel this opening through the left side seam of your body. It's as if you're breathing alone into the left lung. Walk your hands back through center. Take them over to the left side as if you're breathing alone into the right lung. Feel the expansion through the fascia, the connective tissue in the body on the right side. Then slowly return back to neutral. Press back into downward facing dog. Just linger here for a moment. Lift the sit bones high. Maybe rise to the tippy toes or pedal out your feet, just really opening up the body in the stretch. And start to walk your way into Uttanasana, forward fold, top of the mat. Either catching your elbows, bending the knees if necessary so your chest actually rests upon your thighs, softening the upper body as much as you can. Let the shoulders go, let the neck soften, the muscles of the face, the jaw are all relaxing here. Bending the knees, maybe even a little bit more, so there's not all of this tension in the hamstrings. You're getting more of an opening and release in the upper body. Right hand grounds to the mat, left hand sweeps high. Bend the right knee, you found just this gentle twist. Switch, left hand to the mat, bend left knee, right leg lengthens, right hand sweeps high. Exhale, switching both hands down, back into Uttanasana, forward fold, sway it out, stir it out. Then begin to slowly peel your way vertebrae by vertebrae up into a standing shape. Shoulders draw back and down. We'll do a few more rounds of this. Breathing in, sweep your arms up. Hinge back into your forward fold or dive your way forward, exhale. Then peeling slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, squeeze your core, microbend the knees, slowly peel your way back up to stand. Roll-ups, one more, deep breath in, sweep the arms up. Exhale, diving forward, take your time. Microbend the knees, squeeze on your core, peeling, vertebrae by vertebrae, back up to stand. Taking it slow and then dropping into some little shoulder shrugs. Shoulders draw back and down, shrugging the shoulders. Step the right foot over the left ankle, sweep the left hand high, leaning over to the right, opening up this left side seam. So you're in your side step crossover. Side stretch crossover. Hinging forward to deepen the stretch into the backs of your legs. That can be quite strong, so see how you go. Breathing in, hands sweep all the way back up. We unravel our legs. Left foot steps over right foot. Then release the left hand. Right side is bending over to the left, opening up that right side seam to the best of our capacity. Keeping the legs the same. Breathing in, just begin to sweep that hand back up and hinge forward from the hips, deepening the stretch into the backs of the legs here. Exhale completely. Inhale, return, rising to stand. Breath in, hands sweep up, reach up, rise up. Unravel the legs. Catching a bind behind you as you step your feet to the wide edge of your mat, hinge forward, nice big forward fold and shoulder opener. Microbend the knees, sway it out. So stirring into the hips, stirring into the hamstrings, opening up the shoulders, deepen your breath. Inhale, return to stand. Stepping to the top of the mat. Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. We'll do 3 rounds. Tadasana. So starting in Tadasana, shoulders draw back and down, lift from the crown. Inhale, hands sweep up above. Exhale, bow forward from the hips. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, palms to the mat. Walk, step or jump back to high plank. Ground the knees, lower your body down to the mat. Breathe in, cobra pose. Press into the palms, just lifting an inch or so away from the mat. Exhale, pressing back to a full cobra. And slowly imprint your way back down, meeting in child's pose position, taking a few steady breaths there. So we're starting in a very sort of grounded version of this sun sal, just taking it slow, taking our time, warming the body up. Deepen your breath. Then tucking up onto the knees, press back to down dog. Take a few more big breaths here. Sit bones lifting high, torso folding back through to the thighs, gazing ahead, walking, stepping or jumping your way to the top of the mat, hinging forward, fold, Uttanasana. Sweep your arms wide, reach up, rise up, palms pressed together above. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hands to your heart, Samasthiti. Bringing the big toes together, top of the mat. Breathing in, sweep your arms up. Exhale, diving forward, second round. Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, palms to the mat, walk, step, jump, ground the knees. Chaturanga down to the mat. Breathe in, pressing up into cobra pose. Inhale. Exhale, begin to imprint down to the mat. Tuck the toes, press back to child's pose once again, Balasana pose. Take some steady breaths here. Breathing all the way up into your lungs, into your chest, into your heart. Then tucking the toes, press back to down dog. Deepening the stretch, gazing through to the top of the mat. Walk, step or jump forward to the top of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold for our third round of sun sails. Hands sweep up, inhale. Exhale, hands to prayer at your heart. Third and final round. Inhale, hands sweep up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, palms to mat, walk, step or jump. Chaturanga to upward facing dog or cobra pose, yogi's choice. Shoulders draw back and down, lift from the crown. Exhale, either child's pose or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Deepen your breath, stay here for 5 steady breaths. Gentle lift of the bandhas, these locks through the center, through your core. Sit bones continue to lift high. Maybe you can ground your heels quite comfortably to the mat. From here, grounding the knees to the mat, shoulders over the wrist directly. Then starting to take the shoulders behind the wrists, circling up from the knees. So this one's like a duck dive on a surfboard. You're circling upwards and returning. Shoulders behind the wrist, diving up and repeat. Grounding in child's pose. Take a few breaths in between. Deep breath in, long breath out. Then, when you are ready, begin to sweep yourself up into a position on the knees. Send your right arm long and left leg long. You're in this bird dog, back extension. Keeping your hips level and square, I've got my right big toe tucked under for more balance. My gaze is straight down to the mat and I'm just holding this shape now. Switch. Left arm, right leg extends. Hold, abs on, hips level and square, big toe grounding on that left foot, gazing straight down, holding. Switching, alternate side to side now. So right arm, left leg. Left arm, right leg. Slowly we go. Alternate side to side. Right arm, left leg extends. Inhale, exhale, left arm, right leg extends. Side to side. Try to keep that, maintain that sense of length. So pointing through the tippy toes, through the fingertips. Then take the right arm, left leg wide to the side, center. Right arm, left leg wide to opposite sides and center. One more. Right arm wide, left leg wide, center. Ground the leg, switch it up, second side. Left arm, right leg, opening wide to opposing sides. Exhale. Inhale, return to midline. Exhale, take it wide. Inhale, draw back through center. One more. Exhale, go wide. Nice work. Grounding the foot and arm back to the mat. Press up to down dog just to stretch and release all of that. Again, folding the torso as much closely back through towards your legs as you can. Sit bones lift high. Gaze through to the front and then ripple forward into a plank position. We're taking our right hand to the center of the mat, grounding our right knee and opening up into a modified side plank with right knee grounded on the mat, really opening up this top side seam of the body, that left side seam predominantly. Take a few more big breaths. Then we're switching that to the second side. Left hand, stretch back to down dog, ripple forward to plank. Left hand, center of the mat. Left knee grounds to the mat. You're in modified plank, second side. really opening up that right side seam of the body, which is the top line of your body, that diagonal line I'm creating. Press back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, sweep the right leg high, bend the right knee, find a hip opener, and thread the right foot through to press up to your high crescent lunge. Right knee over ankle, back heel lifted. Deep breath in, long breath out. Get low into those legs, find a focal point ahead of you. Then starting to open up into warrior two. Right hand ahead, left hand turns wide behind you. Right knee is still directing our attention to the front, and that knee is tracking towards your middle toes. Get lower into your legs as the left foot is turned out to the left edge of your mat. Noticing my focus is directly ahead of me. Opening up into extended side angle. Right elbow, right thigh. Left hand over and above. Alternatively, you could ground right hand inside the right foot, right leg. The stretch is in that right side seam. You could stay here or catch a bind. There's a few different variations of this pose. When you're ready, return to warrior two, lengthen the front leg, keep it long, hinge forward from the hip, and find Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right hand lands inside the right foot. You could alternatively hover the right hand at the knee or the ankle or ground it down at the base like I have. Activate the muscles of your back to open up your chest, your heart. Bend the front knee, returning now to warrior two. Lengthen out the legs, turn yourself to the side of your mat, setting up for Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged fold. Hinging forward with your arms bound, you can do this one in a shoulder stretch variation if you like. We're stretching both the shoulders and the legs. Bending the knees a little or a lot if necessary, otherwise a slight micro bend as you continue to ground through heels and toes. Activating through the bandhas, through your core. Breathe in, return to stand. Pivot the right foot back to the front of the mat. Left foot follows, both feet framing the front. Hinging forward, both arms are going to extend forward. We're keeping our legs straight in the shape. Then take your left hand and see if you can hook the left hand outside your right ankle as you return this right hand to the right hip. Starting to keep your feet facing the front, your hips facing the front, but there's a twist from your core center which is revolving you open to the side. So we're in our revolved triangle pose. Return the right hand to the hip, bend the right knee, slowly come out. Step the feet together, top of the mat, and we take vinyasa to exit. Hinging forward, halfway lift, palms to mat, walk, step, jump, chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra pose, your back bend of choice, pressing back to downward facing dog. Steady your breath, breathe in, sweep the left leg high, bend the left knee, find your hip opener. Tippy toes are the right, tiger curl the left leg in and step it through for your high lunge. Second side, same sequence. Take a few breaths, left knee over ankle, nice long shape through the back leg. Warrior two, left hand ahead, left knee tracks towards the middle toes and your focus is keenly on that index pointer ahead of you. Feeling the energy of your legs. From here, bend the left elbow, take it to the left thigh, sweep your right hand over and beyond. You're in extended side angle and it's all about this stretch that you're opening up on that top side seam. It's got the visual, the shape looks like a side angle pose. You could stay here or come into bound side angle, catching a bind, sweeping the top right hand over your back, left hand under the knee. Breathe in, return to warrior two, exhale. Lengthen the front leg, keep the leg straight, hinge from the hip line, slowly opening up into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Really activate the muscles in your back here to open up the chest further to the side of the room. Try to avoid rocking out into the left hip, rather activate the glutes and pull and hug everything into the midline. Bend the front knee, return to warrior two, lengthen the front leg, and we're setting up for our wide-legged fold once again. Hinging forward from the hip line, nice wide-legged stance, option to micro-bend the knees, catch the big toes, or just release the hands ahead of you. Alternatively, you could catch your elbows. Staying here for a few big breaths, seeing how far you can hinge with it. Core activated, so gently hugging in through the midline as you hinge further from the hip line. Hands return to hips. Inhale, rise to stand. Pivoting the left foot top of the mat, right foot follows. So both feet are facing the front of the mat like train tracks. Right hand sweeps high to the sky, followed by left hand. Then we hinge forward from the hips, sweeping our arms over the left leg. Just seeing how far we can take this, trying to keep our legs straight. Take the right hand outside the left ankle, left hand to the hip. Then start to twist your torso open to the left. So we've got two directions in our body. Legs straight to the front, torso twisting or revolving to the left side. Lots of core activation here, lots of twisting. Return the right hand to the left hip. Slowly sweep the top hand high and step yourself out. We come out via Vinyasa. Sorry, we do not do Vinyasa. We're going to actually take a big breath in, a long breath out, and come into some balancing work. So hinging yourself into a forward fold, I've just opened up to face you, but you can continue to stay facing the front of your mat. So we're in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, hand big toe pose. So catching the right big toe and then take your left hand to the hip, slowly sweep the right leg high to the sky. See if you can maintain this shape. If not, catch the right knee instead. Then finding your focal point, open the left arm wide, engage your core and open the right leg wide to the right side. Lifting out of that stabilizing leg. The option is to continue to gaze ahead or gaze across to your left arm. Breathe in, return the right leg through center. This is a challenge. Revolved hand, big foot pose. Take the left hand to the outside seam of the right leg, right hand to the hip or directly behind you. Lift out of your left leg and then gaze behind you. So I've just showed you the opposite way of doing this one. And then we'll take one more big breath in. Slowly release. Bend the right knee, ground it back to the mat. Breathe in, second side. Hinge forward, forward fold. Catch your big toes with index and pointer fingers. Elbows hang wide, knees are slightly bent. So from here, you're just going to take your right hand to the hip, keep your left foot bound, and then slowly inhale, sweep your left leg up. Either stay with the big toe bound or if not, catch the left knee. Open your right arm wide to the side, activate your core. When you're ready, open the left leg wide to the left side. Either keep gazing ahead or challenge yourself by gazing across to your right arm. Lifting out of the right leg as much as you can, deep breath in, hold. Then draw the left leg back through center. Right hand's going to catch outside seam of the left leg. Left hand either to the hip or start to sweep it behind you. Twist from your core as you keep this nice extension through both legs. Remember, you could catch the knee here instead if necessary, just like this. Release the shape. Breathe in, hands sweep up. Hinging forward. Now we move through Vinyasa. I was ahead of myself before. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to mat. Walk, step, jump, high plank through Chaturanga. Option to ground the knees, coming through Cobra pose or upward facing dog, yogi's choice. Exhale, press back to child's pose, then glide your way through from child's pose all the way slowly towards Cobra pose once again. So this transition that we're about to work through is called child's pose to striking cobra. But you can linger in child's pose for a bit first. Here we go, gliding through. As you come through, we're going to work through a few cobra sequences. So Bhujangasana is your cobra pose. Peel your chest up away from the mat. Maybe just stay quite low or see if you can open up all the way. Inhale. Shoulders should be drawing back and down. You're lifting from the crown and your gaze is ahead. Imprint your way back down. We'll do that twice more. Press into the palms. Peel your way up either halfway or all the way. Bhujangasana. Exhale. Imprint. Third round. Activate the muscles in your back first. Start to peel your chest away, opening up. Inhale. Exhale, imprint slowly down to the mat. Some back extension work. So start with your hands just behind the waistline, palms facing up. Then you're going to rotate them all the way, palms facing down behind the neckline. Rotate the arms around, palms facing up behind the waistline. Rotate, palms facing down behind the neckline. See if you can have the space to do a full sort of circular movement as you circle those arms around. If you've got tight shoulders or anything going on, you might find this one challenging. It's a really nice one for shoulder mobility. So just keep going about 3 more rounds, palms facing up as we reach the waist, palms facing down, rotating as you reach the neck. And continuing to work with this movement with steady breaths. Release. So the next posture that we will practice is an extension. So you will just prepare by grounding lifting your chest up and away from the mat, hovering the arms, shoulders pull away from neckline, inner thighs hug, pinky toes spin down to the earth, and the toes are pointing. Release. We'll do that again, this time with a bind. So catch a bind at the lower back and use that bind to draw your shoulders away from the neck, lifting up. Exhale, imprint. Ground your hands underneath the shoulders, starting to move into a stretch called open wing. So taking the right arm out, create an L shape, and then rolling over to your right side, bend the left knee and open it out to the right side. So you're getting into the right shoulder here, but also you're finding a hip opener and a lower back stretch. Stay here for a few more deep breaths. Then begin to work the exact same open wing on the second side. So left arm creates a 90-degree angle L shape. Right hand stays underneath the right shoulder. Then we wrap the right leg around, bending the right knee as you roll over onto the left side of your body. Take a few more big breaths. Deep breath in, long breath out. Deep breath in, long breath out, just opening up the fascia, the connective tissue along the side here. This is a very popular yin stretch that opens up the lung meridian and the heart meridian, or the shoulders themselves. Then we're coming into a camel variety of Dhanurasana, which is bow pose. So if we start just by hovering our chest, our torso and our arms, palms facing in, like you're about to catch the heels, but you don't quite yet. Then imprint your way, actually catch the heels, and then starting to press up into bow pose, activate the glutes, activate the muscles in the back to lift your chest, shoulders pull away from neckline, and flex your feet like you're pressing them to the sky. So it kind of feels like we're in camel pose. Then release the shape. And coming into one arm bow. Sweep your right arm long, catch the left foot with the left hand inside of the foot and pressing up. Deep breath in, long breath out. Release. Left arm extends, right knee bends. You're catching the inside of the right foot with right hand. Then like you're doing dancer's pose, start to open up into a one arm bow, pressing that foot into the hand, extending the left arm, activate the glutes, activate the lower back, and release. Pressing both hands underneath the shoulders, stretching back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Sit bones lifting high, walk your way all the way into Uttanasana, forward fold, top of the mat. Bend the knees if necessary, catch your elbows, or just let your arms hang out. Hinging forward over the hips. Soften the upper body. Just releasing all tension. Back of the neck, shoulders, face, jaw. See if you can let it go. Breath by breath. Any tension you're experiencing. Breathe in, reach up, rise up, palms pressed together above us. Hands to the heart. Take the right foot either just to the right ankle or draw the right leg up to the inside of the left thigh as we set up for Vikrasana, tree pose. So as you find this stretch, find your focus ahead, switch on your core, breathe in, sweep your arms all the way up overhead, catching a mudra index to thumb, blossoming open through the heart, through the chest. Deep breath in, long breath out. Hands slowly begin to return back towards the heart. And we're transitioning into dancer's pose. So bend the right knee, sweep it behind, catch the inside of the right foot, left hand extends, just like you did on your mat. Hinge forward from the hip. Get the depth first, so hinge as far as you can go. Then press the right foot into the stability of your hand, opening up into the back bend. Full breath in, full breath out. Slowly release. As you release, take the left hand to the right knee or outside seam of the right leg, revolved hand-foot pose, gazing across to the right hand behind you, and release. We'll do those 3 on the second side. Inhale, hands return to the heart, setting up for tree pose on the left. Left foot to the right ankle, or catch the left foot, bring it inside the hip line, meeting the right knee. Breathe in, engage the core, sweep your arms all the way up and above. Catching that mudra as you start to blossom, open this spaciousness around your heart like a tree that is in full bloom or a flower that's blossoming. Stay here for a few more big breaths. Hold your gaze. Draw your hands back through to your heart, then slowly hinging ourselves to set up for Natarajasana, dancer's pose. Catch the inside of the left foot. Find your focal point, hinge forward from the hip line, get the depth. Then when you feel quite deep in the pose, then start to press the foot further into the hand and access a bigger back bend. Lovely. Slowly take the right hand to the left knee or outside of the left foot. Gazing across to this extended arm behind you, twist from your core, lift out of your right stabilizing leg. Nice big revolve, twist, release. Releasing the shape, ground the foot back to the mat, hands sweep up, deep breath in, and exhale Vinyasa. Frame the front foot, inhale halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale palms to the mat, walk, step, jump, Chaturanga to upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your way into Malasana, yogi squat. Lift from the crown of your head, use your elbows to open up your seat. Stay here for a few more steady breaths. Breathing down into the belly, up towards the space around your heart, your lungs, your chest, your upper back. Starting to drop down to a seated position. We're setting up for our bridge and back bends. So your arms are directly palms facing down by your sides. Your feet are hip distance apart. Take a deep breath in, peel your hips up and away. Either keep your arms where they are or catch a bind, shoulder blades draw together, which will help to elevate your hips even higher. You can stay here as you are, or there's a transition to then slowly, as you're halfway up, draw your hands up for Urdhva Dhanurasana, up towards the ears, and open up into the full upward bow. Breathing, activate your glutes, breathe into your lungs, your chest, your heart, and slowly come down. As you do, just draw your knees in for a gentle cuddle, stirring out any tension that may or may not have built up in that lumbar lower back region. We'll do 2 more rounds of our back bend practice. So beginning to transition into our upward bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana, or your bridge pose. Again, choosing the back bend of your choice. As you find it, activate your glutes, open up through your chest. Stay here for 3 more big breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Keep breathing up into the lungs. When you're ready, slowly come back out. Then before we drop into the final shape, finding supine butterfly. So your knees full wide, your big toes come together. You've got one hand on your chest, your heart space, and the other hand down at the belly. Breathing into this spaciousness of your belly, up towards the Anahata chakra of your heart, and down to the solar plexus, Manipura. Breathing from belly, your power center, up to your lungs, your chest, your heart. And before we come into this final heart opener or back bend, just taking the time to reflect on gratitude. What or who it is you feel grateful for today. Perhaps you're grateful for your practice, your body, and taking the time to just reflect on what it is you appreciate today. Perhaps this is a person or a place or your workplace. What are you appreciative for? Then calling in love. What is it you love? What brings you deep love or joy? Is this a person, an activity, or a place? Something you love to do? Someone you just love to be around? Welcome their energy into your heart. And then fourthly, we focus on compassion. Sending love out to all beings everywhere. May all beings be happy and free. And through this final back bend or heart opener, we can actually dedicate this energy to all of those things. We can use it as a way to symbolize our gratitude, our love, our appreciation, and our compassion. So you can set up by just pressing up either into bridge pose. Again, you could stay here if that's right for you, or start to press up from bridge to Urdhva Dhanurasana, your full wheel or your full upward bow pose, that nice big back bend. Breathing into the lungs, breathing into the chest, breathing into your heart. Carry yourself here for a few more steady breaths. And slowly, when you're ready, imprint your way back down. Draw your knees to the chest to release that. Stirring, circling into the lumbar spine, lower back. Take a few more big breaths. Maybe you just want to hold the compression for a while. Then sweep your legs up higher. Catch either the big toes with index and pointer or wherever's available. Maybe the inner or outer seams of the legs. Bend the knees, rocking and rolling, opening up the hips, opening up the lower back, breathing into the groin. Really releasing all tension that may have built up along the way in your body, in your mind, anywhere that you feel heavy. Just let it go with a breath. Then we're coming into a seated butterfly. So rock up to a seat. This one is known as Baddha Konasana pose. And you can slide your hands sort of under the spaciousness of your calf muscles, taking your feet a bit further away. And then just like you're falling asleep on a bus or at the kitchen table, you can just sort of let your upper body hang out, let the muscles in the back of the neck go, let everything relax, opening up those hip extensors at the back. And it's like your feet, your knees are little butterfly wings, which is why this one is called butterfly. And taking a few more rounds of breath. And slowly coming out of the shape, we start to move into our wide-legged fold or Upavista Konasana, hinging forward from the hips. Catching either the big toes or let your hands land somewhere comfortable ahead of you or behind you. Really opening up the hamstrings at the back of the leg, hinging from the hip line. If you could visualize yourself in a standing shape, what that would look like, and then recreate it here on your mat. So hinging further from the hips. There's still a gentle activation of the bandhas, these locks through the core, Mula and Uddiyana Bandha, pelvic floor lifts, core activates. As you hinge deeper and deeper, using the exhales to take you further into the shape. This one is one of my favorite stretches that there is. Challenging yourself to just see how far you can work with the rhythm, with the openness, with the depth of your breath. Then start to press your way out. We're coming into our side stretch in the wide-legged fold. So sweep your left hand over to the right side, hooking the right elbow to the meaty inner thigh. Really opening up that side seam once again of the body and release. Hook the left elbow to the meaty inner thigh. Right hand sweeps over and above, opening up that nice right side seam and sort of draw your chest forward as you're doing this one. So you're really focusing up on opening the side body. Then I like to come straight back into my wide-legged fold, because sometimes after doing those side stretches, you just go a little deeper without needing any effort at all. You just naturally start to hinge further into the shape, and it feels quite nice to be here again. Slowly hinging out, come back up. Draw your legs together. We're moving into Paschimottanasana, your double leg forward fold. Inhale, hands sweep high to create space. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Lead from your heart, so no hunching of the shoulders. And then hinge from the hip line. Perhaps you catch the big toes, or alternatively, you could have your hands just wide to the side, softening through the upper body, the shoulders, the face, the jaw. Stay here for a few more big breaths. Inhale, returning out of the shape. Come down onto your back. We rock our way up into shoulder stand. So the hands catch just above the hip line and your elbows ground and your chin tucks to the chest. You're pointing through the toes. You can stay here for a few big breaths, just keeping the legs straight up above. Nice, gentle inversion. Then we start to open even deeper, sending the legs over and beyond. Maybe the legs hover 45 degrees, or maybe your feet touch the mat. Plow pose, halasana. The arms can either stay supporting your lower back, or you can relax them long like a pillar, maybe even catching a bind with the fingertips, drawing those shoulder blades together, deepening the stretch even more. Again, if you feel like you need the support, just keep your hands at the lower back instead. You might stay here with the extension, legs extended overhead, or you might even find it's quite nourishing to bend the knees, which is known as deaf man's pose. So just working in the shape that feels right for your body today, not pushing it, trusting that wherever you end up is perfect. Lingering here for a few more big breaths. It's so nice to open up the back body, this stretch. And then when you're ready, only when you're ready, just take your time, either catch the waistline or imprint your arms like a pillar and begin to vertebrae by vertebrae, just starting to imprint the body slowly back down to the mat. Then we're relaxing long on our mats. Take your arms wide to the side. Draw your right knee into the chest. Catch the right knee with the left hand and roll the right knee over to the left side of your mat as you find your supine spinal twist. Gazing over to the right extended arm. Breathe here for a while. Beginning to draw the right leg back through center. Give the knee a big cuddle, big squeeze, release. Left knee draws into the chest. Catch the left knee with the right hand, roll it to the right side and gaze. Turn your neck to face the left side. You've got 5 big breaths. Wringing yourself out like a sponge. Breathing up towards the chest, the lungs. And those exhales will be the place where you feel you just naturally sort of wring yourself out. You let go, you release even more. Steady, slow, deep breaths. Taking 2 more big breaths. Then draw the leg back through center. Bring the right knee to meet it. Circling, stirring through the lower back. And release. You have made it to Shavasana, relaxation. Close your eyes down. Just let your